Win on our hand, 128-104 against the San Antonio Spurs in the United Center. Got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of trade action going on. We got Andre Drummond perhaps distributing the flyer, perhaps, of his performance today. We'll talk about all that and more and take your calls. It's the post-game show on the Windy City Breeze. Let's go. How you doing, everybody? My name is Marcus Couch. Welcome to the Windy City Breeze, Chicago Bulls post-game call-in show. This is a live broadcast. We're taking your calls. Got a lot to talk about. The Bulls pull this one out in pretty handy fashion. Just like P-Kid said during the broadcast, I kind of thought the Bulls would lose this one, and it's good that they got some guys off the floor during the fourth quarter, at least late, so that they could get just a little bit of rest before that Memphis game tomorrow. And you know that one's going to be a tough battle back and forth. So let's get right to the phone lines. We'll get our regular callers through the mill here. And we'll take our first caller right now. The system lets me. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I mean, a good win against a team that we should have definitely beat.
Yeah.
Hey, is it me or did Andre Drummond make everybody else in this game look like a non-factor? Because, I mean, I know Vucevic led us in scoring tonight, and DeMar did his thing, Zach did his thing. Everybody did their thing in the starting lineup, but man, Drummond.
Well, like I said in the opening, I think we're handing out flyers here for Drummond. I think people might be getting, we may have sweetened the deal a little bit. Billy may have said, hey, we got some interest in you, but, they want a little bit extra. So we need you to go out there and perform a little bit better tonight so we can put that deal over the top. What do you think? You buy into that theory?
I guess, PK got to show Kobe White some love, man. I know he's not scoring like he usually is, but at the end of the day, the man is playing excellent defense, and hey, you got to just give him some props tonight.
Well, Kid's not with us, but Stefan the Don has joined us.
Yo.
I'm sure he's going to give Kobe White his flowers.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I'm so happy that Drummond is on our team because I used to hate going up against him in Detroit, man. I mean, at times he would make Joakim Noah and a lot of those guys look like little kids. I'm so happy that he's doing it with us now.
Yeah, well, I hope he's doing it after tomorrow because we may not know. He's a pretty heavy piece in terms of value, especially with his contract. So he would make a good sweetener in any kind of deal. So, all right, Shay, well, do you think any trade bombs are going to be dropped here in the next couple days?
Probably, but hey, honestly, I'm going to keep it real, man.
Yeah.
If we were to do any trade, I would say either straight up that Portland first round pick and let's get that guy Jared Vanderbilt from Utah Jazz.
That's interesting.
Because, and let's face it, we already have a lot of young guys. We don't necessarily need no more first-round pick because we trying to develop guys like Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu. You might as well go get you another young guy that's already had some years in the league. And think about it, Jared Vanderbilt's on 23, 24? So he still got room to grow. And he's starting to shoot the three a little bit, and he can play good defense, and he has size at the power forward spot.
All right, man. Well, I'll have to check out his tape and see how he is.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Well, good to talk to you. Take care.
Appreciate you, guys.
So what'd you think of this game, Steph? Just joining us here on the show.
Hey, man. I mean, they pretty much did what you were supposed to do to the Spurs, man. I mean, basically, looking at the stats right now, 49 rebounds, 27 assists. 25 is my threshold. 10 steals, 6 blocks, 74 points in the paint. Drummond and Vooch basically had a night. 20 points off turnovers. Biggest lead was 33. I got no qualms about tonight, but I mean, I kind of want to hear that, because we have our obligation to be honest.
Yeah.
Did y'all like tonight? Because in the words of my friend the Joker from The Dark Knight, he said that the spots are slim. So what we gonna do right now is have tryouts, and basically that's what tonight was. I mean, Drummond basically did what he was supposed to do. Everybody's taking a flyer. I mean, like Drummond did what he was supposed to do. Kobe did what he was supposed to do. Like you said, hopefully he's here past tomorrow because you know they gotta play the Grizzlies. But I mean, I'm just looking at it. It's what's up, Jeffrey? It is extremely funny to me that immediately when the Bulls talk about going to get Hernan Gomez because Hernan Gomez was doing them dirty the other night, immediately Billy gives him some run and he just absolutely goes off. Kobe White turns into Tony Allen, first team on defense out there. I really hope that AK looks at this team and just makes the right decision. Just makes the right decisions because up until now you can say that he's had a couple hits, couple misses, but I mean the next one, especially considering where this team is with Vooch and DeMar, Zach getting his big contract and Billy getting the extension, he cannot miss on this trade deadline if he does go out and do something. I'm specifically of the Bill Belichick mindset. You get rid of him a year too early rather than a year too late. So I mean, hey, I hope that he makes good on his promise, but hey, up until now we'll see. But tonight was a flyer game to me. It didn't do much.
So will you be disappointed if there is no movement whatsoever from the Bulls on the trade block?
Oh, absolutely. I said it the last time I was on here. I said if you stand pat this trade deadline with no move being made, that is like the worst decision possible. You can't look at this team in there and say something isn't wrong. I mean, okay, yeah, tonight you beat the Spurs. I was looking at the next 6 games going into the All-Star break. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, tonight was a good win. I got them going 2 of 3 these next 5 games, or next 6 games going into this All-Star break. But to say he goes out of this trade deadline and not make one move, that's asinine.
All right, well, let's go to the phones and see if we got fans that feel the same way. How you doing there, caller?
Hey, Marcus, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. What's up?
Hey,
What's up, man?
Hey, we all know tonight was a scrub game. They
Okay.
only had their one point guard out there, and the rest were bench guys for the most part. They competed, but I mean, we knew they were going to get this game. Let's not anybody fool themselves. As far as being a good GM, we'll see just how good he is. Because he's got about 72 hours to fill a shooter and a 5. He's an athletic 5 behind Vooch. And I would come up with Wiseman, Hayes, Claxton.
Well, to get Wiseman, you're going to have to give up Caruso if you're going to get Wiseman.
Yeah, whatever. So what?
Okay.
So what? You're not going to win shit this. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're good.
Not gonna win.
Yeah.
You're not going to win. I don't care. This is all fluff. I mean, I just like to say it like it is. It might upset people out there, but hey, I'm going to tell it like it is, man.
Yeah, sure.
They're not going to win this year. You're going to have a repeat after this deadline, and you're going to have 3 games, and they lose 3 games. And it's going to be the same thing, man. And if they do get in the play-in or the playoffs, what, another first-round exit?
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
Who do you think? Who do you think that we? Okay, so you'd get rid of Caruso. Is there anybody else on this team that you consider untouchable at all?
I would keep the big three, just like he promised, but he said he was going to do work around the fringes. Let's see how good he is.
Okay.
I'm calling it out right now.
There's been talk about Mike Conley. What do you think of him?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what his age is. I'm thinking about getting younger with some upside.
Terry Rozier.
But I want a two-way guy that can block and be disruptive in the paint and make this a two-way team. The Bulls in the 80s or the 90s with Jordan, all that, they were defensive beasts. And you got rebounding with Vooch for the rest of your year. And if you want to re-sign him because you can't get value for him, then so be it. But I mean, if you're going to have him, you better, and you can draft a 4 in the draft or whatever, if that pick conveys. But as far as that, I want a defensive 5. I want a Bamba. I want somebody that's going to be disrupted down low. Hayes, Claxton, whatever. Someone young with upside that's going to propel this team forward in the future. And when you get to the offseason, just like everybody said, the Bulls are going to make their transformation then with their big 3 or whatever. That's the plan.
It's funny as you described that 4. That's exactly how P. Will was pitched to us. That inside defensive presence is going to make a difference.
The problem is, and no one talks about this either, is that the big 3, he's not getting the touches. And yeah, he's going to make his mistakes. But now he's 21. It's time for him to run. And the only way you're going to get these guys you got DeSumo, you got P. Will, you got all these fast guys, is an up-tempo team. And you need someone that's going to start the fast break at the 5. Period.
Well,
with Levine and all those guys. And they'll flash and, I mean, I'm not saying Levine, could he grow into that 1? Maybe. I mean, but if you don't do it, you're never going to know. But I mean, I want to see this team like any sports team. I'll give you an example, like the Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bears were they're a running football team, right? That plays defense, right? That's the formula, right?
Right.
Well, what are the Bulls? The Bulls are defensive. You need dogs on defense, and I know Caruso fits that mold. But with the team with the league going crazy over him, man, and his value, come on now.
Well,
who we kidding?
I'm always.
And why did you draft Terry? If that's the reason, Terry's younger, right? And he could be that glue guy, that energy guy that could put up 7 points and get 2 steals.
Dalen Terry sucks.
I'm
sorry.
Right away, but
no. I'm sorry. I put a new nickname for him tonight. His new nickname is Phelan Terry. Okay, he is Phelan Terry. That's it.
No, I'm saying he could be like that guy, that bench piece, that defensive, disruptive guy,
like Kobe White. Yeah, like Kobe White.
You're not going to give him playing time, trade him because you're just wasting him. And you drafted him at 18, so
yeah, but we're paying him like $2 a game. It's nothing. I mean, he's on his rookie deal, right? It's not. It means nothing in terms of the salary cap.
The financial end of it, right? It's low end, so you don't have, you got him locked up for.
Yeah, he's a throw in on some kind of a deal where somebody needs another piece
or
to fill
whatever
a contract,
you have to do
right?
to get that defensive 5.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it plays out.
What'd you throw?
What would I do?
Block shots.
I honestly
and be disruptive at the 5 in the paint because I'm tired of seeing these guys just drive the lane and get layups all the time.
Well, that's the NBA though. This isn't this isn't, we don't have a Patrick Ewing these days. There's nobody like that.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You try to get someone that's got a putback game or a lob pass game on the other end. Yeah, he's got to be able to do that. But somebody that can block shots in the paint.
Okay, we got Drummond. He did pretty good tonight.
I think
on Vooch in the summertime, you decide, we got to trade him or whatever because we're not going to pay him.
Yeah.
You got somebody groomed that's got 30 games running with the team that could hopefully get their tick back that they're not getting with other teams.
So my thing is this.
Prime example, like Wiseman, right? I'm not saying, I know he's injury prone or that's a risk, but kid's got upside, and you're never going to know if you don't, But if you don't play that style, and I think Billy Donovan's better with younger,
right?
He's good with the vets and all that, but he's like that middle ground. He's like that stepping stone to the next guy.
Well, honestly, I think we need a point guard. That's who I would get in this trade deadline. We don't have anybody who's a definitive point guard on this team except for Goran Dragic, and he can play in limited minutes.
I hear you. I think the guy 18. Out of Washington would be good.
Maybe. I think that's what we need on this team. And if we had it
the rest of the year, yeah.
If we had it, we would be able to distribute.
And the Lonzo thing too, but I mean, you're stuck with him.
Lonzo's not coming back. He is not coming back. I think this is a career-ending injury. He's done. No, we're not. We can buy him out.
No. When his own pops comes out and says, "Yeah, he'll be back," but we literally don't know when. It's cooked.
He's done.
Cooked.
He's done. Hey, I'm gonna move along.
I think there should be a defensive two-way team with shooters. They need shooters. Obviously, Kobe's like a okay street guy. If you could get a young knockdown guy, which is probably not going to happen.
What's up, Clayton? How you feeling?
But other than that, those are the two pieces people talked about all year, man, is they need a defensive big and a shooter.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they get, man. But thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. What one piece do you think we need more than anybody? What position? Stuff.
Honestly, a guard that can put that actual guard that knows where to put that basically knows how to run the offense. Like as much as I like Io, and Io's coming into his own, like these guys need to know where to be on the court, and they need spacing. Because I mean, Vooch. Vooch had a solid game tonight, bro. To me, like these last couple games, he's been taking like way too many threes. He's been taking way too many threes. They need a guard. They've needed a guard the whole entire year, but this is something that I'd say too. And I told Pat this around the summer. This is when everybody was all up in arms about the whole Brad Beal situation, and I was like, Brad Beal need to get out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't know about you, and I don't know about the people in the chat, but I play the game to win chips. If we're not winning a chip, and I know it's not going to be every year, but if we're not inching closer to winning a chip or in the realm of winning a chip, what are we doing? Because at the end of the day, like I've said, the whole DeMar and Zach, whatever y'all want to say, like this is not working. You cannot look at this and say that it's working. So therefore, you have to make some type of move that's going. If I'm DeMar or Vooch, one is going to entice me to stay, or whatever you do. Because right now this is run of the mill. Like I don't know if y'all realize this, but every time the Bulls win a game, we're always talking about, oh, they're this many games out of 500, but they're still 10, they're still 11, they're still 9, and you're hovering around that. Do you realize you're going to win 2 play-in games just to make it to the first round and get bounced out by whoever that first seed is?
By Boston or Milwaukee.
Like, so it's like if I did this twice in a row, we bringing the same team back.
Yeah, again,
the math to me it won't do it for me, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to win a chip, or at least I'm trying to be in the conversation every year of winning a chip. This ain't getting it done. So it is what it is. I think they got to pull off a big one, but I probably don't think it's coming until maybe next year.
We'll see.
Maybe next year. We'll see, because he's trying to keep it close to the vest. But something's going on.
Gonna go out to the phone lines. How you doing, caller?
What's going on, Marcus? What's up,
Hey, Ma, how you
What's
doing?
up, man?
Not much. Man, just watch the game and everything. I'm gonna be honest with you. This game was kind of lackadaisical to me.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter, it was one of those games like when you look at the box score and you look at the end game score and everything. You're like, oh, the Bulls blew them out. We must have a good game. It was really like we shouldn't have really been this close to the team throughout this game until it shouldn't have took the fourth quarter of us going on the run.
Right.
For the team like that's when we want to, get some leeway room. It should have been something we should have stumped them out by then and everything. It just seemed like the team was very lackadaisical tonight. They started off really hot and really good, 39 in the quarter, but it just seemed like as the game progressed, they kind of just took their foot off the gas and was just like, okay, and everything. And that, I don't like to see that. I'm glad that we did win, obviously, but that wasn't something that, ironically enough, it didn't impress me. It was I did like that, Vooch and Drummond did their things, but I wasn't as impressed as I wanted to be.
I'll be honest with you. Drummond did his thing because he did his thing against San Antonio tonight.
It was a Flyer game.
That wasn't the case. I'm not a fool either, Still, I'm still going. Hey, I'll give you your props, even if it is against San Antonio. I'm still going to give you your props and say, hey, because clearly we've shown that bad teams are great against us. So even if it is San Antonio, it's like, yeah, but because it's this Bulls team, it's San Antonio. You know.
And still, it's still Pop, and Pop can beat a championship team with a scrub lineup just by making savvy substitutions when he knows a guy sucks on the other team,
If I'm correct, the last game, or one of the last games we played against them, one of the last few ones we played against them, he literally beat us by doing the same exact play over and over and over. He spammed pick and roll, and there was nothing we could do about it.
Yep.
We could not stop it for whatever. It was the most basic thing. I thought you would have thought it was Stockton and Malone back out there, like the way that he just spammed it, and we couldn't do nothing about it. And I was just up here like, dog, it's a pick and roll. Just go, come on, dog. What y'all doing with your life right now?
Trap him, close it out,
so,
you're done. Yeah. It's an easy counter when you know how to do it.
And I don't even play basketball, so I wouldn't even tell you what the counter is. But even I know, come on, there got to be a counter somewhere.
Yeah. It's just basically
right.
an isolation with a delayed closeout on the center that's rolling in. That's it. That way you can intercept the pass. You can intercept the pass, and then even if he rolls out, you've effectively countered the entire lane and pushed it back out again. So that's your defensive play.
It's a simple game. It is a simple game.
It is. So let me ask you this, man.
Go ahead,
Jamal. If there are no trades that happen on this team in the next 72 hours, will you be disappointed as a fan?
Nope, because I had already told you guys a couple of games ago, and I've been sticking to it. I don't see them making any really major trades or major trades. I definitely know that I really don't see them making a major trade.
Okay.
I'd be more shocked if they did. But I wouldn't be shocked if they just did. Because I was like, they might not make a trade this trade deadline. They might just, not do anything real major. I was like, but that all season though, that's what I'm looking at. Because like your previous caller said, we're not going to win a championship this season, and we know that. And I think most fans were fine with not winning a championship. We hope, obviously, but you're fine with it because you just want to see the progression to the next stage. And clearly, we've done a regression. We want to see, can we make it, maybe get to a fourth or fifth seed? We get to the second round of the playoffs, maybe. Let's see what we can do with that. And we've clearly shown that we are not there yet. We're still trying to make it into the play. And the sad thing about it is, the rest of the East keeps giving us chances. It's like, hey guys, we would like to see you up there. We kind of, Yeah. We do want to see y'all actually make the playoffs. It is the Chicago Bulls, and we're just like, yeah, all right, we'll see.
You know how it is every year at the beginning of the year when Vegas odd makers put out like how many games they think we're going to win, and we get so pissed off. What do you mean we're only going to win 42 games? and then they hit it right on the head. It's like, this is Vegas, man. These people know what they're doing.
It's provocative. It gets the people going.
Yeah.
Nah, but okay, let me ask you these two questions though, Jamal. So the first question is, so with you saying that you don't think they'll make any deals before the deadline's over. One, do you think this team's gonna make the play-in?
I think we'll make the play-in.
Okay.
It's one of those things of like, I'm not 100% even guaranteed on that. I'm looking at it as maybe like we're on a 50-50 chance of making the play-in. If I can do the percentage-wise.
My second question to go along with that is because you brought up the off season, so I gotta ask you this real quick. DeMar on an expiring deal, Booch on an expiring deal. The main kids to get free agents in the offseason. I mean, next season, let's say both of them walk. You got a team of $215 million Zach, who, you know, he got his ups and downs. P. Will, not really that great.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we don't even know if Io's gonna be back. So it's like, you know, what are you really looking at realistically? Like, I mean, this is all I'm saying this, and I'm asking this because, like, realistically, all of this stuff, like, I know we haven't talked about it, but this is like what's also in the back of my head with the way that the direction this team is going, and also what I'm looking at. Like, what do you say to that?
Well, that basically goes back into what one of our previous callers said it on. What is our, and they even talked about it at the game, like Stacey and them said it on the broadcast, you know, what is the Bulls' identity? We're just talented. And we don't have enough talent to where we can say we don't really have an identity. But every championship team, you name them, it does not matter what era, what year, whatever, every championship team had an identity. That identity was all around some type of defense and what their best offensive thing was. Now, here's the thing. The great teams, while their offense was one thing, it was they could adapt to any offense that they needed at any time. That's your Golden States, your Miami Heat, your Chicago Bulls, whatever, you know, any version of the Lakers, they could adapt. The Bulls is just a very talented team who sometimes plays defense, sometimes can make threes, and then sometimes they don't, and sometimes they play inside, sometimes they don't, and sometimes they like to run, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they can play a grind-out game, and then sometimes they don't. They don't have a consistent identity on either end of the ball, you know, on either end of the court. And so, like you stated, this offseason is going to be real interesting because it's like, who do you give up to kind of reveal, take off that mask and reveal who you are? Who are you going to have to give up? You give up the, you know, Zach LaVine, who you just paid $215 million to, and he plays a certain way, or do you give up DeMar, who's an aging veteran, and he plays a certain way, but it's kind of
DeMar's on an expiring deal. This is, I think this is it, right? He's looking for a new deal too.
He's got one more year.
You got one more year, yeah. So it's like, yo, again, what do you really do? He's got one more year. Vooch is on his way out. I mean, I'm gonna say this. It's like my analogy for this year's Bulls team. Have you ever like went and you played like any type of Madden or 2K as a kid, and then you're like, you're playing against somebody, and then you're like, man, that team they got is cold. I'm gonna get that team too and see if I can do that, because they got all this talent on paper. You go to try to do that, and it ends horribly. Like, it looks horrible when you. That's exactly what this team is. Just a bunch of talented dudes. You try to take over, and it's ending up horribly right now. But you know, that's just my 2 cents. Like this.
I think that they don't know how to make adjustments. I don't think it's always a coaching thing. I think Billy tries to get them to make adjustments. I think that they just don't do it in the proper way or quick enough or understand the scheme.
Oh, it takes them so long to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna move along, Jamal, but go ahead. Make your point.
One last thing. Like you said, we go with that whole like analogy you just brought out, when I look at like this team and everything, you said that it kind of feels like when you go play that team on 2K, you don't know anything about it and you don't know how to play it correctly. And that's a lot of times what this team looks like. It's kind of like we just go into every game without a plan of what we want to play. We don't have, like I said, it just goes back to not having an identity. It just kind of eats at you because we've always had an identity beforehand. But we shall see. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and get some other calls in, y'all.
All right, man. You stay safe, man.
Appreciate you.
You stay safe.
All right, let's blast through some calls here, Steph.
Yep.
Going out to the 847. How you doing, caller?
Good. Hey, Ringo, it's Pops.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Good. Hey, so first off, I agree with you. I think if the Bulls do make a trade at the deadline, it needs to be at the point guard position. I think it's too early to pull the plug on P. Will, because I've seen the Bulls do this in the past. They take a young guy and Tyson Chandler's a perfect example. They pull the plug on him and oops, Although I do think that Kobe White his game has improved quite a bit this season, especially Stacey's always talking about his handles. His ball handling has really improved this year, but he is clearly a number two, not a number one. And really, I think both of the guards that we have are number twos playing at the number one. And we see that when Dragic is in there, what a true number one it looks like. So that's I think we do need if we can get a point guard. I don't know who's going to be available at the trade deadline. And that's really the point that we need to think about is who's going to be available at the point guard.
Well,
and
you got
if you give up Caruso,
Mike Conley is out there on the wires.
By the way, I'm glad you said that because he's 35.
Who am I going to have to give up for that? And that's really what you got to look at, right? That's great. Conley is a short-term fix, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're looking for a long-term fix, if Zoe's coming back next year, I like the move to bring. I like Mike Conley. You bring him in for this year, and you make a run at the playoffs. Because the truth is, let's a couple of facts here. Since that Minnesota game when everybody went off in the locker room, the Bulls are 15-8, and you got that horrendous 2-game stretch where they blew double digit, big leads against Indiana and Charlotte. So they should really be 17-6. So, as bad as everybody talks about their record being, since that Minnesota game, they've really played really well. And and the truth is they've shown that against good teams, they've been able to, bring their level up and defeat the really good teams. We'll see what they do tomorrow against Memphis. And so I think the Bulls, everybody's talking about, bigs. I don't, we see tonight, okay. Drummond and Vooch had big games against, subpar teams, but even, Drummond and I think Drummond and Vooch have proven that at the 5 they're set. At the 4 you got to look at P. Will, and he defensively you put him on your toughest guys every night. Right. So that's kind of where you're at. Your problems are at the guard line, and Caruso is injury prone. He's when he's healthy, he's a great player. So, but if you can move him and get if you move him and you get Conley and a pick, that's something, and that Zoe's going to be healthy next year because you need a long-term solution.
I don't know that Zoe's. I don't know.
We don't know that.
I think he's done.
We don't know that.
I think his career is over.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the whole point then, right? Then we still need to address, so Connolly, Well, but he, is Mike Conley give you this year and next year, and then that gives you more time to come up with a solution. But,
right, because if you get him for this year and next year, then you essentially have a point guard leading into next year. You've still got Zach. You still basically have the same core. You don't have Kobe White. You have who else is leaving? You still have Caruso. You still have
I guess. I mean, my whole thing is he's 35, about to be 36. So I mean, like,
who else is out there that's point guard?
Short term.
You need point guard's the position where you need it. You need to fix that 3-guard rotation there. So are you guys assuming that you give up Kobe and you get Conley? Is that where you're at?
The only reason why I would do it is because Conley at least will be a voice in the locker room, because I think that the Bulls right now, for as good as DeMar is, for as good as Zach is, for as good as Vooch is, they're not leaders. Yeah. You need a voice in the locker room, like, and by all accounts, I at least thought it was gonna be Dragic, because you feel me, he's been on the championship team. Well, not championship team, but you've been in championship situations before. But they out of all three of those guys, I've not seen one person, like, everybody's just been saying, "Oh man, like, we got to stop talking about it. We got to do it." Like, nobody's being vocal, because if y'all was doing what y'all said y'all was doing, you wouldn't have these issues where you're up 19 against the Clippers, and then you hop on Twitter and the rest is talking about, well, the last 2-minute report. I don't want to hear about the last 2-minute report. You was up 19.
And here's another thing, Steph, that you bring up. I'm sorry, but I'm not hiring veteran NBA elite athlete basketball players to be guidance counselors for my soft young people on the team.
I'm telling you.
I do think, I agree with that. And Drummond's only 29. People forget that, and you get these guys. I think P. Will's going to be a stud. I think you guys are assuming then that Kobe's going to leave in the off season. Is that where you see
he's going to be a restricted free agent, but I think he's going to get a hell of an offer somewhere, and he'll be a starter on some team.
Hey, tell me this doesn't sound like Zach after a loss. Hey, so what do you guys got to improve on? What do you guys got to improve on going in the next game? I don't know, man. We just got to go out there and do it, man. Like, we've been in the locker room. We talked about it the last couple times. It's just not working. Like, I mean, like,
you forgot to say what kind of player you are. I know what kind of player.
Yeah. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, I know I'm a bucket. 25 points a game. I know DeMar's a bucket, Vooch is a bucket, but I'm really out here just trying to get mine, to be honest. But who knows? I got my 215. So.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you guys. If you can take Conley free and not give up, because the Bulls have given up. They don't have a whole lot of draft choices coming up in the next few years. So, that's it. And the truth is, the Bulls are 2.5 games, or two games out in the loss column from the sixth. Everybody's talking about the play-in, but they're 2 games out in the loss column.
Yeah, but that's a
hey, I'm telling you this right. I'm telling you this right now. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
nobody cares. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Right,
like,
bring in Conley. If you bring in the veteran point guard, and and then your starting backcourt becomes Conley and DeRozan. I mean, that's a pretty good thing. And then you can you can bring Io off the bench, and then you're but where do you play? Now you got 5 guards, and that's where do you play? You got to kind of roll your time in there. So, but that's for Billy to figure out. But point guards really need their help. If you can get them without having to give up too much, I like it. I do like the idea that you guys brought up. We got to start getting Dalen Terry some more time.
I didn't bring
Hey,
that.
I'm gonna ask you the same. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Jamal. So
Go ahead.
you telling me that they're gonna make the play in, and then you think they can beat Boston?
No.
No, I actually think
Yeah,
they can run it to 6. At the 6, I'm saying they're only 2 games out in the loss column
Against
from the
Milwaukee?
6. They're 2.5.
So Milwaukee again, first round, but worse.
Hey, but
Because that's what it is.
They've proven this year that against the good teams they can play with the good teams. It's been
That was early in the regular postseason. Giannis is a real thing. Let's postseason Giannis and postseason Bobby Portis is a real thing. And Chris Middleton is getting his legs back. Either way, even if they get to the first round and play Boston or Milwaukee, that's a sweep. I'm just saying.
That's why you don't want to be in the play-in round. You don't want to be in the play-in round. You make a run. You're at the 6. You get. I got to tell you, I think you get Philadelphia or who's 4 right now. I think they can beat those teams in a 7-game series.
Maybe.
So, you make a run at those. You make a run at the 6. So, if you go get Conley and you make a run at the 6, then you can. I like that team because you're going to shorten your bench in the playoffs too. That's the other thing. So, Kobe's not going to see a whole lot of. And you got 12 fouls on Embiid. So, that's something. So.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in today. Thanks for your participation.
I appreciate you, man.
But thanks again, man. Appreciate your
Take care,
opinion.
Man. Yep. Stay safe.
All right. Apologize to the rest of the callers that are on the line. We are going to close the show here at 42 minutes plus, but we will be back tomorrow for the Memphis Grizzlies game, which is going to be Memphis is like my favorite league pass team to watch.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
What's his name is going to be off his suspension, I think, by this game coming back. So he's going to be heated and ready to go. So what was it, Brooks? And it should be something to see. So I'm really looking forward to this one. All right. Well, for Stefan the Don, Bulls win this one tonight. We will be back again tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for everybody that called in. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Remember to subscribe to the Windy City Breeze. It's the only channel that talks Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. For Stefan the Don, I am Marcus Couch. Until next time, go Bulls. Take care.